Hello and welcome back to more AI, the Somnium Files, where last time we dove into So's subconsciousness to infiltrate his Somnium, and it was really dumb because there was an easy win strategy we could have used since the beginning that we ended up using in the end, but in order to do it, we did a whole bunch of other random garbage that we just didn't need to do. We did a whole lot of unnecessary steps. We could have just cut to the end, cut to the chase, and won immediately. So that was very annoying. But anyway, let's chat to good old So over here.
I didn't. Are you planning on acting dumb all night? How did you know Iris was stabbed? I heard it. What?
On my way to this place, I heard that woman over there talking. Something about a girl who got stabbed in the back.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, you.
I don't remember exactly what I said.
Well, that's just lovely and wonderfully inconvenient there, boss.
It's possible that I mentioned a body with stab wounds to the back.
You...
Boss.
Why wasn't that your defense earlier?
It is impossible to determine now.
What? No, it's not. You just got done establishing that everything you see and hear is uploaded to the damn cloud.
He very well may not have seen Iris's body.
No. He still must have. He was in the warehouse.
But does that mean we can conclude for certain that he saw the corpse?
I've been telling you, I don't know anything.
That's impossible. I saw Iris in your dream. You have to have some memory of her.
What are you talking about?
Well, you say that, but this is something I haven't really brought up before. I've been assuming that the initial Somnium for the opening of the game... I'm gonna open up the log so we don't see the same video on loop in the background while I talk. I've been assuming that the opening Somnium from the beginning of the game has been a flash forward, like a prophetical premonition of what's something horrible that's about to happen. But that's not what any of the previous Somniums have been. They've always been looking back on something that already happened. Mizuki's, when we did, well, not Mizuki's, but when we went into my Somnium, we went back to see Mizuki's life throughout the years, or we went to see the crime scene at the merry-go-round, or any of the other crime scenes that occurred, like the polar bear battle and a bunch of other stuff. It's always been looking back to the past. So, and it would make sense thinking about it, because I didn't really think about this before, but she lost her arm in an accident. Hitomi lost her arm in an accident, which clearly must have been at the hands of the guy that we saw in the opening Somnium, who we have no idea who that is. So but the thing there is that I had always assumed that's like, hey, look, be careful, Hitomi, you're gonna die soon. Because when you look, like, obviously I looked at the body on the floor and thought, oh, she's dead, got it. But then you look back and you think, oh, no, that can't be, because all the Somniums have been about things that happened in the past. So that already happened for some reason, and that's another reason why I'm suspicious of Date, because he had some involvement in that scene. We know that happened in the past at some point, so he would have had to be involved in that at some point, in some way. Was that? But that clearly looks nothing. The person who was standing over Hitomi's presumably dead body, but obviously not dead now, body, obviously isn't Date, but he knows about that somehow. He was involved in some capacity, and yet seemingly has no recollection of Hitomi outside of the Somnium, so I don't know that... The reason I'm going on this tangent is because Date's defense here is you have to have some memory of her, yet he possesses no memory of Hitomi from the Somnium we did at the beginning of the game, so I'm unclear as to how this all works.
I don't understand a word of this.
Come to think of it, I still haven't heard your explanation for this. 2 days ago, you called Shoko Nadami just after 9 p.m. Why?
That is a private matter that I will not discuss with you.
What were you doing at 5 p.m. 2 days ago?
Reading a book at home. You can ask my housekeeper or my bodyguards.
All of whom you pay to do things for you.
That does match what the bodyguard said earlier.
They're literally willing to kill people for So Tsujima.
But they're like family to him. They're not above telling a lie to protect their boss.
The phone is ringing. Doon, 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 doon.
This is Date from Abyss. What happened?
Hey, sorry to call you out of the blue. There's something we want to check. Is now a good time?
Sure, what is it?
You said you found a body at Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. The one at Ariake? Warehouse District?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Why? What happened?
It's, not here.
What's not there?
We searched all over the warehouse. We didn't find any bodies.
Did the polar bear throw it into the river?
What do you mean there's no body?
We looked everywhere, but nothing.
Date, I am not doubting you. However, are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I saw it. I know I saw it.
Iba, you saw it. You saw the body. You are his eyeball, for Christ's sake.
I saw Iris's.
What are you asking him?
eye.
You have a camera in your eye.
Then perhaps someone moved the body between the time we left and CSI arrived.
Imagine literally being someone's eyeball and asking, are you sure you saw what you think you saw?
No, there's another possibility.
There is?
Alright, bye. See you later. Lovely chat. What?
Date?
Huh?
Iris!
What are you doing? Barging in without ringing the doorbell?
What the?
Oh, you see, Mizuki ended up staying at my place.
What are you talking about?
Something wrong?
The world changed.
The what did what? Excuse me? What? Am I hallucinating? What is going on? What the fuck? You better start making sense right now.
Saved Iris during the sink yesterday. She wasn't killed.
What? But you, what?
True, but that was only a dream.
Maybe the dream changed reality.
Impossible.
You,
Then how else would you explain it? Iris came back to life.
What the hell is happening right now? This game is damn well, but I honestly don't know what would be worse. Because on the one hand, it could be that it was just a mannequin. Because that's what I said from the beginning, right? Is that it's odd that a dead body would be in that position. Like, that doesn't seem to make much sense. But then the alternative is that it's a mannequin. Excuse me, sorry. Like, just that was set up to look like a dead body. In which case, how the hell would nobody have been able to tell that? But then the other alternative is that they're trying to say that she actually was revived somehow because of the sink? That makes even less sense. So the other alternative is that she actually was in the warehouse. She was just naked and asleep. And then she woke up, like, huh, what an interesting situation. Alright then, back to work. And then everything proceeded as... And Mizuki's there?! Did I miss something? What the... This game had better start making sense real quick.
Date and Iba saved Iris and Somnium,
Which took significantly longer to do than it should have.
and that changed the history of the real world.
That makes no goddamn sense.
Well, I guess it's not impossible.
Really?
Isn't what you said yesterday.
That was then, this is now.
But
A woman's mind changes with the phases of the moon, you know?
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, I believe in Date. I trust him more than anyone else in Abyss. Stranger things have been known to happen. 2 days ago, Date found Iris's frozen corpse in Mizuki's Somnium. It must have been a prophecy.
Boss.
There's a lot of stuff in this world that can't be explained by science.
Boss's knack for change is one of her good qualities. Not having beliefs is what she believes in. That's not a good thing. That's how she established herself as a major player in the police department, because she believes what she wanted to. That means she has beliefs.
Congressman Sejima is suspicious in more ways than one. Exhibit A. 3 days ago, So called Shoko Nadami's phone. We still don't know exactly why. He only told us it was meant to be private. Exhibit B. So Sejima was at Okiura Fishery Warehouse last night, but he didn't inform us of this. There must be something he doesn't want us knowing. Exhibit C. So was in Iris's Somnium. Dreams are constructed from memories.
That, let me play that again.
So was in Iris's Somnium. So was in Iris's Somnium. So was in Iris's Somnium.
Moving along then.
Yet the good congressman denies he ever knew Iris.
Oh my Jesus Christ. I don't even know what's... how do you...
I sent him home yesterday.
You really...
Well, we can't hold him without solid proof. What we saw with Iris hasn't happened yet.
In any case, we have to speak with him again.
Boss is sitting on the desk. I guess the other possibility is that Date actually did hallucinate. But there's a 0% chance that happened because Aiba is in his eye. She records everything that happens.
Mizuki went to Bloom Park 3 nights ago. She was prompted by a Nile message from Renju.
Mizuki, Daddy got caught up in something serious. Please come to Bloom Park's merry-go-round right away.
There are 3 possibilities. 1. Renju killed Shoko, or was an accessory to the murder. 2. Renju was threatened or blackmailed into luring Mizuki to the scene. 3. The culprit used Renju's phone to send the Nile message. In any case, the motive is still unknown. We need to talk to Renju.
Renju, where did you go?
You asked Mama at Marble for information regarding Renju Okiura, correct? It is possible she may have something for you by now.
I asked Momo for information too, but I had to promise him a meeting with Iris. Momo can wait for now.
We can talk to Iris's mom as well. She was Renju's classmate, right? Aiba told me about her.
It is absurd. Not possible. Dreams are figments of the imagination. An incident which took place entirely in your mind cannot have any bearing on the real world. That is preposterous. Consider it. If you were to find money in your dream, does your bank account balance go up in reality?
You don't need to spend time convincing me that what happened in the dream doesn't affect reality. You need not do that.
If you were attacked by aliens in your dream, does a swarm of UFOs invade Earth?
Who are you talking to right now?
Warehouse.
You must have been hallucinating.
I'm sorry, did she not see?
Somnium, you saw Iris's frozen corpse. It is affecting your mental state. Last night, you were so fazed by it that you couldn't speak. If
What?
it bothers you to this degree, why not go talk to Iris?
What kind of cosmic bullshit is this? You went the entire last episode. So the story they're going with is that he's actually hallucinating. Okay, that's stupid because Aiba is literally his eyeball. And she's not connected to his brain, obviously, because she's able to pop in and out of the socket whenever she wants. So if she was actually connected, like hardwired into his brain, that would hurt when she rolls out. So it's an independent viewing lens. And she didn't say a single thing. Not a thing. The entire episode, she let Date believe that he, saw Iris's corpse there. And also, I guess we can't just go back and check the footage that she records constantly. Especially since last episode, we went back to check the tape of us seeing So walk out of the damn... This is insane. This is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. There's no other word for it.
Her cell phone is on. I can trace her via GPS. She is currently somewhere in the Lemniscate building.
This is beyond stupid.
I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras, the same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
Another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju. The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died. Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management. In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other person.
But it can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious. I would suggest searching the warehouse again. You may be able to discover why Iris was resurrected.
There are 4 people I should talk to. So Sejima, Iris and Hitomi Sagan, and Mama. And I need to check the warehouse one more time.
We have many avenues of investigation.
Let's get moving.
Okay, I don't know what route the game wants me to think they're going down with trying to explain this bullshit, but I'm telling you this right now, none of them will make any sense. No matter how the game tries to justify this, it's not gonna make sense. I'm telling you this right now. Good God. And man, I thought that that Iris, or Iba jumping out of the sky was as bad as it was gonna get.
So Sejima is a key person of interest in this case. Earlier, the boss cited 3 points of suspicion against him, and I agree with her assessment. I checked the call logs of So's phones. Congressman Sejima has 1 phone under his name, and a burner phone rented under a fake name.
Did you find anything interesting?
Unfortunately, no.
Really?
But I do have something. I looked into So's secretary's phone. 1 call in particular stood out to me.
Huh?
It was 1 week ago, from Fuchu Prison. The caller identified themselves as inmate number 89.
Number 89?
Yes, this is most likely the same person who called HQ.
I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
Unknown. You would have to ask Mr. Sejima for that information.
Number 89 said he knew who killed Shoko.
He did, but that may be a lie.
Does he have any connections to the Cyclops serial killings?
Unknown. In all honesty, I have no idea. From what I can determine, he is an assassin. He accepts jobs from the criminal underworld for substantial rewards. His code name is Falco.
Falco?
Correct.
Falco Punch. Why does this happen, by the way? Because I assume that the reason why his heartbeat does that, like the logical assumption to make is that whenever the world goes gray and his heart starts beating, that's supposed to be like, oh, that's me remembering something about my past. But granted, I haven't exactly been keeping track of every time it does that. But the last 2 times it happened, it was in relation to the Kumakura, is that the guy? Rohan? Let me check the appendix to make sure I'm actually getting this correct. Is it? Oh, here it is. Rohan. Yeah, Rohan Kumakura. This is the guy. It was when they were talking about this that his heartbeat accelerated, and then when we were talking about Falco, that his heartbeat accelerated. But there's no link between those 2 things. I guess unless they want us to say that, unless they want us to assume that number 89 was associated with the Kumakura clan, and that it's still, but then that still leaves the opening to the question of why he's linked to the Kumakura clan in the first place. So, because I mean, it would make sense, right? Because it says he accepts jobs in the criminal underworld for substantial rewards. So it would make sense if he is in some way, especially as he's an assassin. It makes sense for him to be linked to... Oh! He's probably the guy in the apartment, right? Because there was, in the first Somnium, I was talking about this earlier, the first Somnium we did in Hitomi's apartment, where she was on the floor bleeding out, there was a guy standing over her who clearly wasn't Date, but we don't know what Prisoner 89 looks like. So is it possible that that's Falco? Because if he's an assassin who was sent there to kill Hitomi, that was associated with Rohan Kumakura. Okay, so there's a link between those 2 things. But how does that connect? Like, why we're still missing why Date's related to that in the first place, and why he seemingly has no memory of any of it? It's weird.
Murder. He is serving a life sentence for multiple counts.
An assassin? Never would have guessed
And
it.
was imprisoned 6 years ago.
Oh, was he now? Oh, was he now? 6 years ago, huh?
6 years ago.
What a coinky dink.
Unknown.
You don't know?
He is not registered in any databases. He could be a foreigner or recent immigrant, but it would be impossible to determine from where. However, I did not detect any accent in his speech. I believe we can conclude that he grew up in Japan.
Number 89.
Should we visit Fuchu Prison?
No, we don't have time. Call up boss. Tell her to request that number 89 be brought to Abyss.
Roger.
Tsujima residence.
I heard there was no body found at the cold storage warehouse. Isn't your investigation over? I told you I will not answer that question.
And why not? We didn't find anything there. There's nothing to hide.
It appears that he will not respond.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know that girl. I've never seen her before.
Date.
I knew he was lying. This proves it.
I am having difficulty determining his motive for lying. After all, Iris was not killed.
Maybe he's got a secret with her he doesn't want us knowing. What are you hiding so?
You are beginning to irritate me.
What did you want to talk to her about? What is the private matter you mentioned? What is your relationship with her?
I'll answer your questions when you present a warrant. Number 89. Who is that?
An inmate at Fuchu Prison. He used to go by Falco. He was an assassin.
Odd, finding such a person in Japan. What about him?
About a week ago, he called your secretary.
I don't know anything about that. He was probably calling for a pardon or some such nonsense. My secretary probably decided it wasn't worth my attention. If you need information, you can ask her. I can't help you. Haven't you people got enough? I'm very busy. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're busy sitting there admiring the fish. Lovely. What a challenging day.
I do have one more thing to tell you. To be honest, Kaname Date, I don't like you.
Good, the feeling's
I
mutual.
don't ever want to see you again.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
So I suggest that you don't show your face here anymore.
Yeah, well, seeing as we're clearly capable of fending off waves of enemies, all of whom look exactly the same because they're just copy-pasted, and summoning lightning to do our bidding for us, and manipulating the laws of physics, I think we'll be okay.
It's what's best for both of us.
Uh-huh.
Understand?
Uh-huh. Yep, totally. So walked away sternly.
Who does this guy think he is?
Date, your blood pressure is skyrocketing. Any higher could kill you. Relax, Date. We still have much to do.
I know.
Alright, that was worthless. I feel like most of these move to investigation sections are just a complete waste of our time. We haven't really learned anything substantive from any of these little escapades that have been going on recently.
You need more info on Ren? I'm sorry to waste your time, but I don't have anything for you.
I see. You're so
Not the refrigerator.
Hey, I'm over here. I find it calming.
Why is that?
Don't ask me.
Well, I could use a little help down there, if you know what I mean.
I do not know what she means. Perhaps you should take her up on her offer.
Absolutely not.
You know about Renju and the Kumakura gang, right?
Yeah, I know. I heard it from his own mouth right here.
Do they have anything to do with the talent scandal at Lemniscate?
Maybe now they do, since Renju is the president of Lemniscate. But even before that, Renju and the Kumakuras go way back. All the way back to high school.
Hey, Date. Have you ever seen a dead body?
I remember Renji saying that to me after he and I went through a bottle.
Policeman. I don't know what department, but I assume you aren't handing out traffic tickets. So, how about it?
I didn't answer. I turned the question around on
What
him.
about you?
Me? Well, yeah. Not just one. Countless bodies. When I was in high school, I had a pretty crazy job. You know the Kumakura gang? I was hooked up to one of their phone fraud scams. I just had to go collect the money from drop points and give it to the Kumakuras. It was an easy job. Eventually, I became friends with the higher-ups. They started taking me with them on jobs.
What jobs?
The target was always an elderly person from the country with no family. Elderly folk who owned a lot of land, you know? They live every day in loneliness and desperation. You just have to be nice to them. That's all it takes. Guys would get to know the old people and they would set up an adoption process. After that, you just have to get them really drunk. Throw them in the tub full of hot water, and they pass. Just like that. Heart attack, brain hemorrhage, or they simply go to sleep and drown. The police almost never investigated. It always looked natural, like they died of old age. So the adopted gang members would inherit the land. Then we sell it and make massive profits. I watched a lot of people get killed like that. And I've seen journalists get killed for getting too close to the truth. So Why am I telling you all this? Are you going to arrest me?
Took a sip of my glass, didn't say anything for a while.
Yourself, right?
No, I was always the lookout. But still... Date,
Tears fell to the counter, unending. We didn't say another word until the ice in the glass had melted to nothing.
I don't have anything else for you. Sorry, I'm not much help.
No, don't worry about it.
Can you come back again tonight? There's a regular here who is good friends with Ren. They should be here tonight. If you ask him, he might have some information for you.
Tonight?
Yes. I'll be waiting for you.
Okay then. That might actually yield something useful. Possibly. Okay, now the big one. Iris, what the hell? I don't even know where to begin. I've thought of all the possible ways to try to explain what happened. None of them make sense. None of them. Not a single one of them. Hi again.
Yesterday, I arrived uninvited.
No, I'm grateful. Thanks to you, Mizuki has her voice back.
No, I didn't do anything.
That's obviously not true. Iris, where the hell are you? Where... I don't even... Okay. So, about Iris.
I put Iris through so much. I was 19 and single when she was born. People didn't take kindly to that, but Iris was such a fighter. She always protected me. I remember, one time at the nursery, some of the other mothers were talking about me. Iris ran up to them and said, "Don't talk about my mommy." I'm supposed to be the mother, but it's Iris who's always protecting me. They died when I was 17. I was an orphan, and my relatives lived far away. They might have taken me in, but I was already in my second to last year of high school. It wasn't a good idea for me to move that late. So I decided to stay here, by myself.
And take care of Iris.
Yes, all alone. But Renju would help sometimes.
Sometimes.
It was always just me and her. Vacations, barbecues, zoos, amusement parks. Just me and her. Oh, that reminds me. When Iris was 5, there was a children's theater show in Bloom Park. It was called Milky Moon.
It was about girls as magical space rangers and such. She loved singing and dancing. Even as a kid, whenever she heard music, her body would start moving. It was a quirk of hers, and she did it at the show too, toward the end. When all the Milky Moon girls were dancing to the ending song, Iris climbed up onto the stage and danced with them.
Yeah, cool, but why is she still alive? I don't care about the Milky Moon. All I care about is the fact that she was apparently dead. Now she's not dead, or she was never dead, in which case everyone's an idiot in this game. But
Stop her, of course. I grabbed her arm and tried to get her to sit, but before I knew it, she was up there, dancing. And everyone was so excited. Even I was dancing by the end of it. When it was over, she had the biggest smile on her face. Mama, you're a good dancer. That's the kind of girl she was. Whenever she sees someone playing music on the street, she'll run up and join them, right then and there. Music at the train station, the crosswalk beeping.
we have bigger issues, Hitomi.
When their little chime played, she would start dancing. It almost got her into trouble once. She was on the jungle gym and a truck drove by.
Are you aware of the fact?
Music out the windows. She climbed up to the top and started dancing, but she lost her balance and fell. She fractured her leg.
Are you aware of the fact that Hitomi? Oh my god.
And it was hard to find an open emergency care. I was carrying
Was
her
it?
on my back, running and running through town.
It was hard to find an open emergency care. That's not how emergency care works. What?
I still hear her crying. Will I still be able to dance, Mommy? Can I still dance?
Emergency, as in 24/7. What the?
She cried and cried into my shoulder. It was the only time she ever cried so much. No, that's not true. There was one other time.
That I, of course, won't talk about, but I can guess. Was it when you got your shoulder shot off by presumably Falco?
6 years ago, I was the victim of a shooting.
Yep.
After the surgery, Iris came in running. She was sobbing.
So I guess she wasn't home when that happened.
Mommy, don't die! Don't die! Please don't die, Mommy! Don't die!
Man, really crap surgery team not reassuring the 12-year-old girl
I swore
that
to myself then.
the mother was only the victim. Obviously, a shooting, being a victim of a shooting is still serious, but you'd think someone would have been there to tell her, it's okay, it's a shoulder wound, it's serious, but we're gonna take care of it, she'll be fine, we're gonna handle this. It's not like it was a gunshot to the head or anything. Real crap surgery team for not reassuring her.
I would protect her, no matter what. Iris is everything to me, more important than my own life. Today's a holiday. I suppose there's never a day off for a detective. Oh, but you aren't a detective, right?
Technically, yes. But I still deal with crime.
I see. Today is a holiday.
You forgot too, didn't you?
Did something happen to him? You asked me that yesterday.
Excuse me?
You asked me that yesterday.
Okay then. Told her about Renji's
Right
disappearance.
from the hospital? I'm sorry. I have no idea.
Iris must really enjoy dancing.
Yeah.
It's not like she's centered her own entire online personality around that or anything like that.
Though her drawing skills could use some work.
Good thing no one follows her online for her drawing skills then.
Drawing skills?
Look at the drawing on the wall.
What? Okay.
I've been wondering about that picture.
Iris drew it when she was 12.
That's you on the left and Iris in the middle, correct?
Yes,
And who's on the right?
the man I was dating at the time.
Was it us? Was it us? Were we the one she was dating at the time? Because if so, I question how the hell you couldn't remember. Because here, that's what I'm stuck on. She says, what? Date was clearly involved with the shooting in some capacity. So, but he apparently has, both him and Hitomi, and Iris for that matter, have no memory of it whatsoever. It makes the most logical sense for Date to have been the one she was dating, and she was involved in the shooting, or he was involved in the shooting. Maybe he was trying to protect her and he got wounded, which explains how he lost his left eye. but I don't know how he would lose a left eye in the shooting without it also penetrating his brain. And then he lost his memory from the shock. She lost her memory from the shock. I guess Iris could have also lost her memory from the shock. Everyone lost their memory from the shock. But I can't. I don't know.
Only for 3 months, but I met him about 6 years ago. Have you been to the Kume Shrine in the Minato district? I was praying there one day, and I heard a voice. Well, more like a groan. Behind the shrine, I saw a man sitting on the ground. He was bleeding badly from his stomach. I took out my phone to call an ambulance, but he grabbed my wrist, and he held me, and then he kissed me. I was shocked, but when I stared into his eyes, then I heard footsteps, and then a bunch of men yelling. They were looking for him. When the voices and footsteps faded, he let me go. Don't call an ambulance, and don't call the cops. I knew he had to be a criminal, so I took him to an underground clinic I knew.
You took him to a mob doctor?
Renju's friend. I only met him once.
Wait, hold on. You knew he had to be a criminal, so you took him to an underground clinic you knew. No. Was she? Okay, so now it makes more sense. So she knew that she knew she was dating a criminal, just through sheer intuition, I guess. And with that piece of information, it seems to make the most sense for it to have been Falco that she was dating. So I guess maybe one of his assassination targets was Hitomi and Iris, and then he just went undercover to try to get close to them. I feel like he wouldn't have needed to get close to them if they were truly his assassination targets, right? Or maybe this was, I don't know. That still doesn't answer the fact, even if we assume this is true, that doesn't explain why Dante's involved. That's the one loose thread I can't place his involvement with this family. Because that's the other thing. Remember how I previously mentioned that it seemed like Dante was getting really freaked out over Iris' death, despite the fact that he knew her for like a day at most? It would make sense if he was the one that she was dating at the time, for him to be really broken up about Iris' death. Because maybe even if he doesn't actually consciously remember it, subconsciously, he still has some level of affection for her as a surrogate daughter figure, as the person who Hitomi was dating, maybe? But I cannot reconcile Falco. I can make a case for both Falco and Dante having been the one that dated Hitomi, but there's pieces of both of those theories that fall apart at the seams. I can keep examining this.
Even though we had our first kiss seconds after meeting each other, it took a long time before I got to see him again. The first time we held hands was when we watched a horror movie together. The first time I took his arm was when we went to a haunted house in an amusement park. But I wasn't the one who grabbed him. A zombie jumped out and scared us, and he clung onto my arm. He had that cute side to him, and I was falling in love. Our second kiss was in the car. It's cliché, I know, but we drove around at night, looking at all the lights. We parked our car near a warehouse and kissed. I don't think we ever said I love you, but we both knew. We were getting closer and closer. I introduced him to Iris about a month after I first met him. Iris never had a father figure in her life before. She warmed up to him immediately and treated him like a real dad. From then on, it was always the three of us together. We would go to the beach, to the river, the zoo, the amusement park. Going to barbecues with another person was a new experience for me and Iris. Everything felt so fresh. Every day was so exciting.
All I can think, the only way I can reconcile this is that Falco, I'm gonna commit to the idea that Falco was the one who was dating Hitomi, and because he said Hitomi said he was a criminal, and that was their little happy family. Like maybe they were either she was their soft side, or this family was his soft side, or he was an undercover operation. and then the Abyss caught wind of it, and Date came to the scene to try to stop the assassination attempt. That's gotta be what it is. That's the only thing to reconcile both parts, but that still doesn't explain why Date seemed like he gave so much of a crap about Iris.
Oh, sorry. You asked about the picture. He wanted to make okonomiyaki one day. He was working with the hot plate. It was ridiculous. He was trying to flip one, and it flew up in the air and landed right on my head.
That takes skill.
Iris saw the whole thing and laughed and laughed.
You don't accidentally do that.
I hadn't seen her laugh like that in a long time. I was having so much fun that I put an okonomiyaki on their heads, too.
That sounds like a colossal waste.
Plop, plop. I added the bonito flakes and mayo and sauce. At this point, there was no going back. Eggs flew, flour going everywhere.
This seems like just a giant mess you have to clean up.
The room was not a pretty sight.
This seems like a terrible idea.
After our battle, we laughed like crazy.
Yeah, ha 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 ha, and then an hour passed and you realize, oh, we have to clean up all this garbage we just strew all over the place. Maybe that wasn't a great idea.
We were rolling around on the floor.
Getting covered in flour.
I decided to draw it. It's nostalgic.
Is it?
But those days didn't last. 6 years ago, in November, a man with a gun broke into our house. Fortunately, Iris wasn't home at the time, but my boyfriend was. That's why the gunman came. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him, and he would never stop. He pulled the trigger. I tried to protect him. The bullet hit me, but the police arrived. They were both arrested and incarcerated.
Why was he after your boyfriend?
Before he met me, he committed some terrible crime. I don't know the details, but it was awful. So he became a target for underworld criminals. I don't know exactly why, but I know that he betrayed them in some way.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. I can piece together a story from that, but I cannot piece together a story that reconciles with Date's presence at the crime scene. Because for this information, we take it from the top. A man with a gun broke into our house. Now, but even still then, because the one holding the gun standing over Hitomi's body was still Falco. I can't... Okay, let's ignore that detail for a second. I wasn't home at the time, luckily, I guess. Falco was... The gunman came, wanted to kill me, would never stop. Bullet hit you, the police arrived, both arrested and incarcerated. All I can assume from this is that, like, he committed some terrible crime and betrayed them in some way. My brain, when I hear that, immediately goes to, because we know, I wish it didn't take so long to get to the persons tab, but because we know that he was an assassin that did work for underground criminals, and we know that Date's memories of, or Date's heartbeat accelerates and the world turns gray and he flashes back whenever he hears, he heard about Rohan Kamakura and he heard about Prisoner 89. So it seems logical to conclude that this is linked with that, and that he was doing work for the Yakuza members. He fell in love with Hitomi and had a family life going on with her and Iris. And then as a result of that, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out. I want to go clean. I want to become a regular person. So he decided to leave the Yakuzas, and they're like, well, we can't be having that. So in an attempt to disrupt that as repentance for betraying them, he tried to, the Rohan Kamakura came in to try to assassinate Falco and Hitomi and Iris. That seems to follow logically. But here's where it falls apart. She says that a gunman broke into their home. Or a man with a gun broke into the house. Whatever, same thing. But in the Somnium, we saw it was Falco who was standing over her what I assume was a dead body at the time. And yeah, I know we haven't even seen a picture of what Falco even looks like yet, but I don't think I need to know that that was him. Because, like, we may not be able to see a picture of him here, but out of the other possible candidates, it's not Date, we know what he looks like, and it's not Rohan, we know what he looks like, and the person we saw in the opening Somnium looks like neither of them. And then if we check the photo at the back of the room, it looks like Falco, if I can look at it.
Something?
Of course.
I had heard that incident was a random break-in gone wrong.
Well, we can't get a close look now, doesn't seem like, but the hair color and clothing, because no one changes clothes in these games, it looks exactly like what that person did in the Somnium at the beginning of the game. So, It's annoying whenever, because there's gotta be something I'm missing. There's something I'm missing here. Because every theory we have goes somewhere, it goes so far, and then there's just one critical thing that makes it fall apart at the seams.
Oh. That's not true. I lied about it at the time. Because of Mizuki. Mizuki is Iris's friend. If she found out, Iris would find out too. I didn't want Iris to know.
Know what?
That I was dating a criminal. It was her father figure. Iris looked up to him. If she found out about his past...
There's a drawing on the wall. Iris drew when she was 12. Yeah, thanks. I think we got that by this point. Okay, summarize for me.
Date, we can't spend time reminiscing. We have to get moving.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I think we're gonna leave the episode here for now. Well, that was easily the most interesting episode so far. I feel like we actually learned something substantive this time, but also seemed to learn nothing. Like, we keep getting slightly more pieces of information, and then something causes it to fall apart at the last second, but at least we're kind of getting somewhere. Anyway, that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more AI the Somnium Files. Goodbye.